Salesman talking to me, trying to run me up a creek. Said you can buy it, go and try it, you can pay me next week. Too much monkey business, too much monkey business, too much monkey business for me. When you're through swimming, I'll dry your back. Come and relax, girl, in my little beach shack. What you say now? There'll be nothing you lack. It's a pleasure to welcome you to my little beach shack. All together now. My beach shack. Maybe we'll be alone.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. We will be doing my second episode today of Inside the Studio with Elvis. The song Beach Sack from the movie Spin Out. And this was done during his 74th soundtrack recording and this one was for the MGM movie Spin Out. 1966, February 16th to 17th, and he's back at Radio Recorders, which is where he was when we did our first episode with Peace in the Valley in 1957. We're in there 9 years later, and back in Hollywood. There's a few changes, a few familiar faces, but there's a few changes in the sound in the studio. So there was 4 songs cut that day. Beach Sack was the last one of the day, done in 4 takes. And the reason why I picked Beach Sack was because it kind of shows a side of Elvis that you can tell a little bit in his voice that he's kind of tired of these type of songs. So we all know he didn't have a choice with the movie songs. Of what he would and would not be able to sing, and you could tell he's joking around, and he's just actually kind of mocking the songs. Which, once you hear this, but it's interesting to listen, and it's good to hear it. And if you do have your headphones on and you're listening, you can feel like you're right there in the room with him, and that's what my intentions are, is for you to get that feeling. So let's take a look at everybody that's there. Let's take a real good look at who's in the studio. We got the producer, George Stowell. He's the new musical producer. He has a very distinguished record as a musical director in Hollywood. Had 9 Oscar nominations in his career. Won one for Anchors Away. And he's come in. Steve Scholl was the one who was the producer when we did Peace in the Valley. And he's no longer the producer for. He doesn't do the movie studios, anyways, the movie productions. So that's George Stoll, and a little note there about his nominations. Then we have Dave Weishman, who has replaced Thorn Norgar. Thorn Norgar's last session was the movie before. It happened at the World's Fair. He's no longer with them. The sessions were getting a little drab and non-energetic, and so they brought Dave Weishman in, hoping to bring a little energy, and it seemed to spark a little bit. The songs seemed to be a little bit better than they were it happened at the World's Fair, which isn't really saying a whole lot, but anyway, Dave Weishman, he's now here with this session. And another little side note about Dave is that he did do a little bit of acting. He was in the movie Friday the 13th, Part 3. So I'm not a Friday the 13th fan, but you may recognize him. Of course, we know Scotty Moore, Elvis's guitarist since the beginning. And he's still loyal to Elvis. Elvis is still loyal to him, giving him some work. It's 1966. Of course, Bill Black passed away in 65, but he's had his own combo at the time, so he wasn't doing any session work with Elvis anymore. But just a little note here, side note, Scotty had earned $16,000 in 1966, but only earned $500 from Elvis. So it was just a little check. So you could tell it was just more or less more respect for each other than it was for the financial gain. Tommy Tedesco, guitarist. Guitar Player magazine named him the most recorded guitarist in history. He was played a very major role in studio work during this time. He recorded with every name you can think of during those days. And now you got Tiny Tim Brell, another guitarist, very specially made guitar there. Had a great sound. He played on the soundtrack Loving You with Elvis and did a lot of work for Elvis over the years. And now you got Bobby Moore, bass player. Bobby has done a lot of sessions with Elvis over the years and did a lot of work with Patsy Cline, probably just about most of all of her work, all of her repertoire or catalog. DJ Fontana, we all know DJ, started with Elvis not long after Elvis began. Started at the Louisiana Hayride. DJ was actually the session drummer for the Hayride and would play for acts, but he was kept behind a curtain at the time. They finally brought him out, and he became part of Elvis's band. Okay, Bobby Herman, another drummer. He's got a record of 18,000 sessions for artists such as, of course, Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Johnny Cash, all through the 50s and 60s. And then Floyd Kramer, one of the best piano players there ever was, especially session work. We know his work. I like to play a little bit right here.
Although it's always crowded.
All right, so you recognize that he played on Heartbreak Hotel, and then the song Last Date, which is a song that my mother used to play all the time when I was growing up. It was actually number 2 on the charts, and wasn't able to reach number 1 because, as you saw in the video, Are You Lonesome Tonight kept him from retaining number 1. Now you got Boots Randolph. Let's listen to some of his stuff he's done for Elvis.
Return to sender. Return to sender. I gave a letter to the postman.
All right, so you recognize those. Reconsider Baby, and of course Return to Center. That begins probably one of the most popular saxophone lead-ins of any song. Of course, the Jordanaires, backup singer, they're a picture with Elvis. So Beach Sack, it's a kind of a calypso type sound song, and Elvis kind of mocks it a little bit because some of the wording in it. And so it's done in 4 takes. The song was written by the same person who wrote You're the Devil in Disguise and Power of My Love, which was part of the American Sound Sessions in American Studio Sound Sessions in 1969. And a little side note too, on this soundtrack, Elvis sang Tomorrow Is a Long Time, which is a Dylan song. And of course we know he also did Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. And Dylan made a statement one time that the highlight of his career was that Elvis had recorded some of his songs. So that was easy, the biggest highlight of his career. All right, so let's go ahead and start listening to the takes. Let's start off with take number 1. Take a good listen. It's just a false start, but listen for the stereo distinction, the separation of all the instruments. Go for it.
2007, take 1.
What?
Take 2007.
Oh, excuse me. When you're through swimming, I'll dry your back. Come and relax, girl, in my little beach shack. What you think I am? Yeah. And my little shack. In my beach shack, baby, we'll be alone. What you think I am, Dumpty Dumpty? Oh. What you think I am, Dumpty Dumpty? Oh, okay.
All right, so did you hear it? You don't hear a whole lot. I could hear Elvis laughing, mocking it. You could tell he's just done, but he's got such an infectious laugh. But you could actually hear the drums on the right. You could hear the guitar to the right center. You could hear Elvis, of course, dead center. The bass to the left center, and of course the Jordanaires to the left. Jordanaires during the whole recording sessions for this movie were recorded in the left channel for the entire session. But then once it was mixed down, it was mono anyways. But we could hear them very clearly. Take number 2.
2007, take 2.
Get me the silly hour. When you're through swimming, I'll dry you back. Come. No. You guys better move away.
How about if all the fellas go down to your beach shack?
Okay.
So we hear the engineer getting into it at the end, and everybody's just joining in. So Elvis still, he's can't stop laughing about the. So it goes to show you, no matter how good of a songwriter you are, you can really write some crappy stuff. The B-side's got a pretty good beat to it, but the lyrics are just no. So let's take number 3. 3 is going to be the first time it's actually seriously sung. I'm not going to play the whole take, but it is done in stereo. So listen for the separation once again.
3. 2007, take 3.
When you're through swimming, I'll dry your back. Come and relax, girl, in my little beach shack. Dum-de-dum-de-dum, yeah. There'll be nothing you lack. It's a pleasure to welcome you to my little beach shack. All together now. In my beach shack, baby, we'll be alone.
All right, so you could tell the separation in that. So now take number 4 is actually the master take, and it is done in mono. It's mixed down to where everybody's just, you hear it and everybody's just right there in the center. There's no separation of the instruments. So now the last and final take here is going to be a splicing that I did with take 3 and take 4. 4 starts off as a mono, and somewhere along the line it drops into take number 3, and you can start to hear the separation. I'd like for you to take a good listen to it and see if you can distinguish when that separation begins. Put in the comments that you noticed it, and but don't put the time so that other people can find it themselves if they want to. But if you like this, if you want to hear more, hit like. If you want to hear more, hit subscribe. If you have any comments or suggestions for what you would like me to analyze as far as a session or anything Elvis related to react to or listen to. I don't do a whole lot of reactions to first-time reactions to Elvis songs because I don't really know of any I would have a first-time reaction. But I would still, if you want to, for me to do a video of them and talk about it, and maybe talk a little bit of the history of the song, let me know. I'll be happy to do what I can do. This is a hobby for me, and I look forward to doing some more for everybody. I'm out on this. After this, I'm gone, so it'll end with this song and some final credits. And I thank you for stopping by. You have a good one. Bye.
When you're through swimming, I'll dry your back. Come and relax, girl, in my little beach shack. What you say now? Dum-de-dum-de-dum, yeah. There'll be nothing you lack. It's a pleasure to welcome you to my little beach shack. All together now. In my beach shack, maybe we'll be alone. In my beach shack, I'll make you feel at home. Take off that wet cap, let down your hair. Come to my beach shack, you'll be comfortable there. What you say now? Dum-de-dum-de-dum, yeah, yeah, yeah. Be my guest, have a snack. See how nice I treat company in my little beach shack.